Hey ladies, welcome back to Somebody Come Listen to This podcast. I am your host Nava. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button to help this channel out. And if you're not new here, welcome back ladies. So we're going to get into this video about this football player, Harrison Buckner, who made a speech at a college and decided he wanted to address the girls who are graduating. A very misogynistic speech. I know most men will see no problem with this, but someone has started a petition at change.org, I think, to get him kicked off the team for being a misogynist, male chauvinist. You know what? Oink, oink, pig. But we're going to get into what he had to say to women, and he's definitely listening to Red Pill, and he's definitely trying to put women back in the kitchen and set us back about 100 years or more. So let's get into this video.
You, the women who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. By making it to this moment through all the adversity thrown your way from COVID, I hope you learned the important lessons that suffering in this life is only temporary. As a group, you witnessed firsthand how bad leaders who don't stay in their lane can have a negative impact on society. While COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people, it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We fear speaking truth because now, unfortunately, truth is in the minority.
So when I say #all, when I say I don't push divestment, when I say I don't push dating out, I don't push anything but women doing what is best for them. This is what I mean. I don't care what race this man is. He looks white to me. He holds the same religious views as most religious men who are from Abrahamic religions hold. The woman is supposed to stay home and serve. No matter what he's doing, whether he's broke, whether he's a NFL football player, it doesn't matter. A lot of these men do want women to just stay at home and serve them and do what's in their best interest and pop out babies. And like, he's a football player. So women are going to be like throwing themselves at him left and right. Do y'all honestly think because of his religious beliefs that he's just going to just be swatting off these women like flies and he's going to turn every one of them down because of what his homemaker wife is doing for him? Do y'all believe that? No. And she, I don't know if I think she has a career too. I think she does have her certificates or whatever she has. I don't recall him saying, but even if she does, if she's staying at home to raise his kids, she's going to be doing that for years and years and years. So if anything happens where he decides he doesn't want to be with her anymore, or he passes away, and I'm pretty sure she's going to be set because he's a football player. She'll be okay for a while. But if this was like a normal woman, she would need to have her experience in whatever her field is. She would have to have some experience. And even if she had experience in whatever she went to school for. A lot of women and a lot of people, period, are having trouble getting out of college or just finding jobs, period, even if you didn't go to college. The economy is so bad. The job market is so bad. Jobs are hiring left and right, and they're saying that all these jobs are hiring, but there are people going into these jobs who have the experience, who can do the job, who are capable, who are not getting jobs. They're putting in 10, 15, 20 applications. Some people are working 2-3 jobs to survive in this economy. So she's not going to be in the same situation as most of us, but she will ultimately end up in a bad situation if she does this. She will get, something if they get divorced. I'm trying to choose my words wisely, y'all. So when I pause, I'm trying to think of the right words. She's not the same. She's not like us. So she will get some kind of, what is it called? Spousal support. If they have kids, she'll get some good child support. And depending on where she lives, she can ride that wave for a long time. If she's like in a really cheap state, but like even if she's in California, she could ride that for a little bit, or she can move out of the country and her kids will be okay. But this is, you can't tell me that this is not like an agenda to get women back in the homes and get women to let our defenses down and to depend on another person for our livelihood. That's never been good, and it's never worked out for women. If you look at history, it never has, and it never will. And that's why women are like, oh no, we're not doing this stay-at-home thing, because most of the time men are going to see something that they want better, and they're going to either want you to accept it and just go along with it, or they're going to want you, they're just going to leave you if they find something better, which is always something better than you. Something younger or cuter is always somebody that's younger and cuter and more willing to do the things that you want. Because of course you've been with them for years, so you kind of just settled in and you stop trying to be a pygmy for them after so many years, like most women do. Like you just live your own life after so long, and they don't like that. Once you're with them for so long, you're, as a woman, you're kind of like, okay, well, I got this to do, because you see that most men, when they get married or in a relationship, their lives really don't change at all. They really just do the same things they did before they got married and before they had kids. And women, our lives change drastically. We become different people, and sometimes, most of the time, it's not for the better, because when we get more put on us, we get a heavier load when we get a husband and a kids. And that's why that's why you see movements like the 4B. That's why you see women choosing the bear. That's why you see women like mad at Bumble for, talking to women for wanting to be celibate. That's why you see laws being changed for women not to be able to get rid of their fetuses when they can't afford them, or they're just in a really bad situation with these males. And also the Project 2025 is trying to keep women in these relationships with these males. If they have kids with them, is trying to make it harder for women to get out. So the more women are seeing this, the more women are realizing there is a, not nationwide, but a global attempt to get women to stay with men and have more children for the workforce, for the wars. And it's only making it worse for us, because these men are the ones that are mostly taking us out as women. So it's in Russia and China and Japan and Korea, and even in America, they're all trying to get women to have more kids, and they're also making it harder for women to get help with these kids by not giving us incentives, by raising the prices. Daycare prices are astronomical, and these men are like trying to get us to stay home, but they don't realize what that is doing for us as women when we have to stay home and be submitted, or to taking care of them and their kids is emotionally damaging, is physically damaging, and is financially damaging to us as women. If we can't have our own money, if we can't like survive on our own. It's good to be able to survive in a relationship, but all women need to be thinking about, okay, what happens if this happens? If my husband does this A, B, or C? You should always, as a woman, have a B, and C plan for anything. Whether he dies, you need to have insurance on him so that you can survive and you won't be homeless. Whether he leaves you, you need to have something so you can survive and not be homeless. So let's get into what the ladies, or even if some of the men had something to say, let's get into what they had to say, and I'll be right back with my commentary.
Everyone's taking what I said out of context. All I said is that we should go back to another time like the 50s and 60s when men were men and women had more babies than thoughts. When the only Me Too movement was one woman saying she was ready for her 4th child and another woman agreeing. You have no idea how ready I was to come after him again, because, like, he's easy to drag. Like, he deserves it. He deserves all of it. But this isn't real. He didn't actually say this one. This one is from the Sports Memory, which is a satire page. So I'm already seeing this circulating, and people are like, he said what? No, he didn't. It sounds like him, though. That's why it shouldn't be that believable. If someone said this quote was said by me, y'all would be like, no, it's not. Because she would never say something like that. Whereas this dude literally said his wife's entire existence prior to pushing out babies for him was like null and void. Like, she wasn't, really satisfied in life getting the degrees she got. Because if you research his wife, she's super smart too, and like went to college for multiple things. His mother's a physicist, and this bro's up here being like, she didn't matter until she had kids. She didn't matter until she got married to moi. So this seems feasible, but he didn't actually say that, but I'm waiting for him to come out with a reply, because I'm sure his response is coming soon, and I can't wait for it, because it'll probably be just...
How are people mad at this speech? This had to have been the best speech I've ever heard. Wholesome, factual, confident, courageous, you name it, he did it. Harrison Butker is a hero.
Men like this want you to dedicate your life to them and helping them fulfill their purpose, but they never even consider for a minute that maybe you have a purpose of your own. They'll act as if the only thing they really respect that a woman could do is be a wife and a mother, and then when you are, and they're the ones going outside the home and working 40 hours a week, then they reduce it and say, all you are is a wife and a mother. It's a setup, it's a trap. The reason why men like this are always trying to downplay a woman's education is because they know the better you are able to take care of yourself, the less likely you are to need them. They can't just treat you any old kind of way, because a woman who has a lot going for herself has options. She'll leave you if you don't treat her right. She'll leave you if you weaponize your incompetence. She'll leave you if you abuse her mentally, emotionally, or physically. She will leave you because she knows that she could do better. They want you needy. They want you desperate. Notice how men like this never talk about how they dream of being fathers. They don't want to be fathers. They want you to be a mother because they want to be able to use motherhood against you.
Butker is on the Chiefs. It is arguably one of the best kickers in the NFL. Has won 3 Super Bowls. I'm not here to diss his athletic abilities. Well, recently he did a commencement speech at a college, and he's gotten tons of backlash because of this. He referred to abortion, IVF, euthanasia, and surrogacy as degenerate cultural values. He said that life begins when you become a wife and mother. That leans into her most important title of them all, homemaker. He continued his speech by calling the president delusional, and he referred to gay people as deadly sinners. Maybe it's a little bit of internalized homophobia. There's been a lot of videos that have gone viral of people claiming that he allegedly hooked up with a male cheerleader in college. Maybe he's a deadly sinner just like me. Well, you guys, this speech was so bad that the NFL actually put out a statement responding to all this. His views are not those of the NFL as an organization. The NFL is steadfast in our commitment to inclusion, which only makes our league stronger.
I just can't. Just listen to the speech.
Because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you.
Oh, here
How many
we
of you
go.
are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother.
Wow. Honey, hey, listen, I gotta tell you, you know that bachelor's degree, that master's degree you got your entire career before you met me? It was nothing. It was nothing before you met me. Your life didn't start until I came in. According to Bud Liquor here, he said so. You're welcome.
He took the time to insult a man,
but didn't listen to the entire message. Not once did Harrison Butker say your degree means nothing. He actually said the opposite. So Harrison was never saying your degree, your education, your job career doesn't matter. What Harrison Butker was getting at is the importance of having a mother and father in the household. He wanted it to be known that it is okay to be a homemaker. We actually need it more today. Tell me what's wrong with this. Harrison said, some of you may go on and lead successful careers in the world. And that's modern women today. He never said that was a problem. But this is what's upsetting everybody. When Harrison Butker said, I bet most of you women are more excited for your marriage and for the potential children you'll bring into this world. What's the problem? How can you possibly be upset with this?
Y'all, the nuns have responded. As a founding institution and sponsor of Benedictine College, they say it's our responsibility. They said that the Sisters of the Mount St. Scholastica do not believe that Harrison Butker's comments in his 2024 Benedictine College commencement address represent the Catholic Benedictine liberal arts college that our founders envisioned and in which we have been so invested. They go on to say, instead of promoting unity in our church, our nation, and the world, his comments seem to have fostered division. One of the concerns was that the assertion that being a homemaker is the highest calling for a woman. We sisters have dedicated our lives to God and God's people, including the many women whom we have taught and influenced during the past 160 years. These women have made a tremendous difference in the world in their roles as wives and mothers and through their God-given gifts in the leadership, scholarship, and their careers. They're like, no, Harrison, there are other things you can do besides homemaking. They go on to say, our community has taught young women and men not just how to be homemakers in a limited sense, but rather how to make a gospel-centered, compassionate home within themselves where they can welcome others as Christ, empowering them to be the best versions of themselves. We reject a narrow definition of what it means to be Catholic. We are faithful members of the Catholic Church who embrace and promote the values of the Gospel, St. Benedict, the Vatican, and the teachings of Pope Francis. We want to be known as an inclusive, welcoming community embracing Benedictine values that have endured for more than 1,500 years and have spread through every continent and nation. We believe those values are the core of Benedictine College. Whether this is like a PR move or not, I think it's really good that the nuns at the college have released this statement. And I'm curious to see if anyone else at the college in administration or any of the monks that reside at that college release a statement as well. But of course, the nuns are the first ones to speak up. And I also just want to add that not all Catholics are extreme. Like, there's been a lot of comments on my videos about the speech and saying, well, what do you expect? It's at a Catholic college. There are progressive Catholics. There are liberal Catholics. Many Catholics do not agree with what he said. It's not just a Catholic thing in the church.
All right, let's talk about the Harrison Butker situation. Listen, bro, that man said nothing wrong. I am from Kansas City and I need my kicker. But I checked the video and I'm like, is this what they're complaining about? And the fact that all these people signed a petition, I'm just like, wow, like cancel culture is real. That man was promoting motherhood and everybody got mad. Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. He could have said anything else about women's careers. And bro, he don't care about that. That man said, I'm pretty sure all you women here are looking forward to being married one day and that I am the man I am today because of my wife. Y'all acting like that man said, oh, y'all need to be at home cooking and cleaning all day and be a man's slave. That man said nothing wrong. All he said is what women have been saying for years, that they are homemakers. That's like their most important title, right? That they're homemakers, right? And he also said this, he's very deep into his faith. He said this, it is a lie that men are not needed in the households anymore. He's spitting facts. But we live in 2024. People are sensitive and they complain about everything, man. Welcome to the world.
So the controversial kicker who keeps putting his foot in his mouth is saying that we got him all wrong. Now he's saying everyone is taking what I said out of context. All I said was that we should go back to the better time, like the 50s and 60s where men were men and women had more babies than thoughts. When the only Me Too movement was one woman saying she's ready to have her fourth child and another woman agreeing. Ladies, we have him all wrong. He's not a misogynistic man that thinks that women are just baby factories, whose only purpose in life is to serve men and their children and wait on them hand and foot. No, he wants us to go back to a better time. But better time for who? When women didn't have the right to vote, when women didn't have bank accounts, when women couldn't buy houses on their own, when women were dependent on men. And the only way they would have a decent life is if they married into one, that they couldn't create or establish one on their own. This man really curled his lips to say when women had more babies than thoughts. Your physicist mother must be so proud. And your wife. To think that all she is to you is a quiet baby factor. I've seen some comments and some responses saying they feel sorry for Harrison Butker's wife, and I don't think that you should. I think that she knows full well what kind of misogynist she's married to. In his speech, he says his wife gave up her career to become a wife and mother, and that she told him it was like the greatest honor of her life. The problem with him is that he thinks that his wife speaks for all women, as if all women want to be wives, as if all women want to be mothers. I say that as a wife and mother myself, that just because this life works for me doesn't mean it works for everybody else. Life is not a one-size-fits-all type of thing. These women know exactly who they're married to. The racist, the bigot, the homophobe, the sexist. These women know exactly who they married. And sometimes they even agree with those men. So to offer her up some sympathy, I feel is unwarranted. Not unless and until she speaks out and says, I denounce everything that he said. For all we know, she feels exactly like he does. And if she does, honestly, the two of them, they deserve
Some of
each
you
other.
may go on to lead successful careers in the world. Okay, that seems fairly, modern. But I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I don't see what the big crime is. I really don't. And I think this is part of the problem people have with the left, is that lots of people in this country are like this. Like he's saying, some of you may go on to lead successful careers, but a lot of you are excited about this other way that everybody used to be. And now, can't that just be a choice too? And I feel like they feel very put upon, like there's only one way to be a good person, and that's to get an advanced degree from one of those asshole factories like.
So now women who disagree with what he is saying are being called the left. As you can see, there are a lot of men who see nothing wrong with what he's saying because they have been conditioned to see women as their helpmate or their helpmeet through religion and through the Bible. Women should be happy to do this. And in their minds, they are deathly serious about it. And somebody brought up that it's just the Republican Party. No, it's a lot of men around the world who believe like this in different cultures, different nations. It's not just about voting Republican or Democrat. Yeah, the Republicans are trying to change laws that go against women. So if you do vote, I suggest you look into all of the laws that are changing that work against women and that will hurt us. I do not vote. So I don't, because both parties are full of men who are making decisions. There are not enough women in either party for me that are making decisions for women that are going to help us, so I just don't vote. Like, I'm not voting for the lesser evil at all. I don't see how voting will help women at this point. The only thing I see helping women is for women deciding not to participate in the patriarchy. And the only way we can do that is by not doing what Harrison Butker was talking about. Like, by not being so excited and acting like this is the prize after you done went to school for 4 to 8 years. The biggest prize after that is staying home and getting knocked up, possibly dying trying to give birth to these kids and trying to stay home and take care of him and his kids for the rest, to be a slave, basically. Like, I know all wives don't operate like that, but this is what most women have been taught that marriage is. You submit to your husband, you're his helpmeet. Whatever he's doing, you help him. Like, it doesn't say that he helps you. And most women even have this in their mind. It's a lot of women that agree with his speech because, of course, that's just the world that we live in. And I can't blame women that are going along with him because a lot of women have been brainwashed to believe this stuff, too. Like, as you see, even the nuns came out and were like, no, not us. We don't agree with this. Taylor Swift is not agreeing with him. Taylor Swift is a girl's girl. And of course she worships men still, like, because she hops from man to man to man. But Taylor Swift is going to do what she wants to do. I don't think she's going to be tied down in a marriage. But as much money as that girl has, if she does get married, let that man mess up and say, I want you to submit and stay in the kitchen and cook for me. And Taylor Swift ain't going for that. And I'm sure she's not wanting any of the women around her going for that. But of course, most of the men on these videos disagreed. They are outraged and shocked, and like it is a huge divide right now between men and women. And I don't think that your average man realizes what's going on, but the government realizes the divide that is going on right now. That's why TikTok is being taken away, and soon it'll probably be YouTube, it'll probably be IG and Facebook, because this message is going to spread through social media whether they like it or not. It's going to spread. Even if they cut off all these platforms, it's going to spread still, because women can see clearly now what all women around the world have been going through in these marriages. Women who are married are speaking out. Over 70% of women are filing for a divorce. They're trying to make laws to stop that. Y'all need to really start paying attention to what's going on around you with these laws concerning women, and that these men are deathly afraid of losing wives, losing the access to women, because we are their biggest resource. When they get married to us, or even when most of them are dating us, we are the biggest resource to them. The ones that don't know how to cook, they don't have to know how to cook because they find women to cook for them. They go to restaurants, they go to their mom. They don't have to learn how to cook. Women are not teaching their sons how to cook, and that's the issue. If you have sons that are like 8, 9, or 10, y'all need to be teaching them how to cook for themselves. Y'all need to be teaching them how to clean up for themselves, so they won't grow up thinking that, oh, I just find a woman to do it, because that's what's been going on. So these men like Harrison, that's what they believe. My wife does everything, so I'm able to go out and live my dreams. Even though she's went to school and everything, she's not living her dreams. She's doing what he wants her to do. After all those years wasted going to school, now she has to waste more years doing what he wants her to do instead of what she wants to do to raise his kids. They don't understand how labor intensive it is to be a stay-at-home wife. And if you're going to be a stay-at-home wife, I suggest you make your husband pay for you to be a stay-at-home wife, because that's not just nothing. That's one of the hardest, biggest jobs you will ever have in your life. When you have a newborn, ladies, you're up every hour on the hour, feeding that baby, checking on that baby when it's crying. Some nights that baby will not eat and go back to sleep. You're up sleepless nights for months and months and months on end. That is so exhausting and so depressing. This is why postpartum comes on. Women who are breastfeeding and pumping, that hurts really bad. Your body is hurting. And most of the time, if the man works, he's not going to want to get up with that baby every hour on an hour. Some of them will, but most of the time he's going to expect you to do that. And then when that baby finally does go to sleep in the daytime and you're trying to get rest, you can't, because you got to get up, and these men expect for you to get up and clean up and cook him dinner and do all of that in the daytime so he can still come home to a clean meal after you've been up all night having this baby. There is no sympathy for women. There is no pay for it. You're still cleaning the house like a maid, trying to keep the house clean, trying to cook dinner. And if you have other kids, oh, forget about it. Like, you got to get them off to school. You're taking care of a newborn baby. And this man is sleeping through the night, and he just goes to work and comes home and wants everything to be like normal. Ladies, y'all really need to think. That's why so many women are not having kids anymore. Women are tired, and women are realizing that we have gotten the short end of the stick. I don't care how much they get on here and say women get more out of a divorce, women get more from being married. We really don't. Just really think about it. Most men are not going to clean a house. Most of them, they'll straighten up a little bit, but you as a woman, your clean is not the same as their clean. You'll come in and they say they cleaned and it looks a mess to you, but most of them can deal with being in a dirty house. And most of them, it doesn't bother them because they know that you're there and you're going to clean it. So this is an issue that only women can solve, and they know that. That's why they're targeting women, because they know when women are fed up Like the rapist R. Kelly said, when a woman's fed up, there is nothing you can do about it. And women are getting fed up in mass, and they are panicking, and they're trying to convince us that no, this is what you were meant to do. This is where you're supposed to be. Just stay. Just listen to us. We know what we're talking about. But they couldn't switch places with us for a couple of days. If they had a newborn, if you have a newborn and kids, try to switch places with your husband for a couple of days where he stays with the kids for 2 days and does everything that you do. And you stop doing it and tell him to do it. Since they think it's so easy, they will give up in a couple. They cannot be around kids like that. They cannot multitask like we can. We can do it, but we're tired of doing it. We want to go on vacation. I think as a mother, we should get to go on like at least 4 paid vacations every year. and that should be on the husband. And somebody should pay for a babysitter when we're on those vacations. And we should get to go without our husbands. A solo vacation. So, ladies, that's all I have to say about this Harrison Buckner. I guess it's Buckner. I've never heard of him. Most of us have never heard of him. And it's not just the Catholic Church that thinks like this. It's the Baptist Church. It's the Buddhist Church. Even though the Muslims say that our wives get to keep their own money and their money is their money, they're getting abused in these homes too. And they're being treated like maids and servants too. So it's not just the Catholic Church. It's not just him. It's not just the Republicans. It's just the culture worldwide. It's not just American culture. So they're panicking right now. So please keep sharing these videos, ladies. Please keep liking and subscribing. And I will see you ladies next time. Bye.